All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kunzi, and we're back on the Creating Bedrock SMP tonight. It's Monday, so we'll just call this Megabase Monday. We're just gonna work on this and see how far we can get, but definitely making some good progress. We want to keep going. Golden night to get at least that quarter of the second ring finished up. I've definitely got, I think, 2.5 full shulkers of actual concrete, and then there's another 6 shulkers of materials to make powder if we need to make more. And then if we do well enough, we're able to keep going around the ring, then we'll get as far as we can. But um, good God, dog's going nuts behind me. Anyway, stick around, hang out, and let's see how far we can get. First things first, I'm going to try not to yeet into the side of this portal. I've got to go and repair my shovel at least. I collected enough gravel. Let's go this way. I collected enough gravel and sand actually it was last week, to almost break it. So let's get that thing repaired real quick. And then we'll see. We'll just see how fast and far we can get on that ring. Did I make it through? I didn't make it through. Hope everyone's 4th of July was good. Mine was pretty good. It's busy. Definitely took the whole week to recover, feels like. That's why I've been absent for the last week. Just didn't have the energy to get on here. I wasn't fully recharged yet, but feeling pretty good now. Please tell me I have my trident. Okay. Feeling pretty good now. Got had a nice relaxing weekend. Went out and farm, killed some more chickens, picked some green beans, canned green beans. Yesterday went and did some catfishing, so I'm recharged. I'm feeling good and rested and ready to get back in here and get some work done. Alright, let's get that all fixed up. A couple things I found while I was digging in the sand and gravel and things to get all the materials I needed for concrete. I did happen to come across a Heart of the Sea. So here in the nearest future, when we're ready to go and take on an ocean monument, and we get some prismarine, we'll be able to make a conduit. So that'll help out everyone that's looking to do some underwater stuff. I'm trying to think what else I came across. A whole lot of nothing except that diamond. Stocked up again on some more coal while I was on like the Stony Shores area. That was needed. So I'm gonna need tons of torches to just get this thing lit. But yeah, definitely ready to get back in here and start working on this again. I think here in the near future, we're going to have to go and raid an ocean monument. That way we can get a guardian farm built, because as far as XP goes, you just can't. I mean, you can beat it with an Enderman farm, so I hear, but I know, like, I have a guardian farm on my single player world, and you get like 30 levels in like a couple minutes. It's so fast. Like, repairing gear though is, you know, a couple minutes, all your gear's repaired and you're on your way. This is still a little slow for my liking, but is what it is, I guess. It's better than having to do it the old-fashioned way. Would someone mind giving me an audio check? I don't have any popping or anything happening, right? I don't hear anything, so I think we're good. We'll see if anyone else ends up hopping on tonight. I'm not sure. Not sure if that'll be happening or not, but hopefully somebody does. Although usually when someone else jumps on, I'm usually distracted, so I don't get as far, but... Come on. Yeah, I do wish this was a smidge faster. I know that's not the most entertaining thing to watch or listen to. Temporary problem I need fixed. Come on now. I got a guy I work with that he's been playing with also been playing on a server, just a different one, and he's been showing me a gold farm that he's got made on a realm, and man, that thing is sweet. Like I might have to figure out how to actually do one of those. They usually like a portal system, so it's sitting there just tossing zombie pigmen like through this portal like crazy. I mean, at a very, very steady rate. I'm not sure if he's gonna pull the same rates that my Guardian farm does, but it's pretty damn close. It's very impressive. So we'll see after we get some mega bases and things done. We definitely need to expand our farm knowledge and things. Then maybe we can get some tutorials and things completed on here and draw a little bit more traffic into the channel just as a whole. But oh no, give me the rest of that. Oh shit, how did he get there? How did a creeper? Did you see that? Where did you come from? That's a little... I wonder if the piston, when I shut the thing, if it shoved him through the corner. That's a little concerning. Okay, well, for the moment, we're good. We're going to go down here and sleep. And then we'll head over to the base. Start building. Actually, what we're gonna do too, we're gonna drop some valuables down in our storage system. Oh, am I gonna be high enough? Nice. Put that away. Let's put that in here too. What else? I think I don't need anything else there, so alright, let's go. It's weird my elytra did not want to take there. Another thing we need to do here soon too, we need to get this hallway expanded, stairways widened, deepened, get that all looking good. Definitely plenty to do. Alright. Let's take and get this up out of the way. Sticks, arrows. I guess I don't really need arrows at the moment since I don't have a bow. What's in here? Junk. Let's throw some of this in here. Keep the bucket. We could end up needing that. Keep the sticks. Let's throw... Oh, okay. I have to hang on to that. Let's do that. Alright, if we're just gonna build. Take these. Grab a bunch of this stack. Wrong chest. Grab some of these. Alright, let's do this. I remember exactly how far it was. Looks like I was coming up pretty decent, ready to start bending around. Guess for the ease of it, let's go ahead and break our nose. Do this. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I can just do this. Duh. And then try not to fall. Let's get those placed a little closer. Oops, snagged on some. There we go. Alright, let's see. Good news is we're going to have the next few rows will go much quicker on this because it's five rows of this exact pattern. Right, come back here. Alright, since we're on this side of the bend, it's actually easier to go from this direction. Actually, I think it might honestly be easier to work this way. Yeah. Boom. Alright, now let's do the easy part. Just stacking that up another 4 rows. Whoop. Good thing I had the crouch down. Sure doesn't take long to go through materials. We're going through what, 2.5 stacks now, just in a little bit we've done. It's a pretty cool view. Just looking down over that canyon. Smaller ring just off to the left. That's a pretty cool view. Starting to get dark. Alright, let's go sleep. Right. Let's go ahead and top off. Grab more of that too. Whoop, not the right block. this right? Oh no, it's a too tall. There we go. Something seems off. Got to pay attention. And boom. Hard part of doing it this way is you got to make sure not to place it on the like accidentally placing it right there. Although I like the design of this base, if I was gonna do it again, I don't think I would pick this same design again. The amount of like focus that it takes to complete these rings does make it difficult to like hold a conversation or like think of like topics to talk about when you've got to focus so intently on like where your block's placed. So like stream wise, not a good base to like do live. It'll look sweet when it's all done, but there's no one really like talking and chatting. It's gonna be hard to like keep a topic or something like in mind. That there. See, that's what I mean. Gotta make sure you don't place a block on the side. Or no, that needs to be this. Here. That one's a 2. 2. I should honestly be coming from the other direction. That would make this easier for me. Here. Whoop. Like my kid's having a coughing fit up there. Okay. Once we get this quarter of the ring done, this will be I think, what was it, roughly 10,000 blocks so far that would have been placed. You know what else is going to be painful is having to go back and pick up all that netherrack inside of here when this is all done. All right, so a couple. Here, let's talk about something here. So a couple years ago, I was out in. I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago. I was out in Colorado with my brother-in-law at a bachelor party, and the plan was to go um, whitewater rafting, like go hang out, hike, whitewater raft, all that stuff. And while we're out there, he says, like there's a group of, I don't know, 9 of us, something like that. And he asked if any of us have ever seen the show Alone, which is it's a show on Netflix, and the premise is you have 10 survival experts, um, experts in their field, whether that's like military or survival experts, or people that just live the bushcraft like way of life. And the idea is if they can be the last person standing, there is a cash prize at the end. Um, this season, there's a new season that just came out. This season, the grand prize is 500K. I started watching a couple years ago. Grand prize was $1 million. Last person standing, and that was also if they made it 100 days. And they put them up in some very remote places of Alaska and Canada. Or did they do Alaska? I don't think they did Alaska, but anyway, they did like this season's in uh, Labrador, Canada. The interesting thing about this season is this is the first season where there have been they're basically in polar bear country. Polar bears are like active manhunters, right? Like they are straight predators. Like a lot of bears are still terrified of humans. They will basically run off. They're timid unless they feel they or their cubs are threatened. Otherwise, they'll basically just kind of run off. A polar bear is not that way. They're an active man killer. So it's a little bit more interesting this season than some of the seasons past. But the reason I'm even bringing it up, I mean, it's a survival show. So these people are dropped off with, they're allowed to bring 10 items with them, like clothing being an item, not not like limited to 10 articles. At least I don't think there's a limit. They're in complete solidarity. They're dropped off in random locations around a specific, like usually around a lake or a river. Um, and they have to figure out how to survive. So they have to procure their own food, procure their own base, their own shelter, um, just all that stuff, just to show like what type of skill do they have. And a lot of these people put on like a significant amount of weight before the show starts. And within like the first like month, like people can lose 30, 40 pounds if they're not able to get enough nutrients to help like satiate them and keep their weight up. But the interesting thing is in a way it's very similar to, like what we're doing here. We're playing on a survival map. We're having to, you know, find our own food, make our bases, figure out how to survive in this realm. And there's a lady that, I guess, a big mistake people make is they'll try and get their bases built like right up front, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, a base is super important. Like, you got to have a shelter, but you've also got to keep in mind, like, you got to have food. And if you're burning tons and tons of calories, um, and you're not really replacing them, like, you're gonna drop weight fast. You're gonna lose energy because your fat content's low. Your energy's low. Your cognitive thought is low. You just don't have like the will to like keep going. Like, it's a pretty it's a physical challenge, but it's also a very mental challenge. Oh shit, I about fucked up. Um, I find it interesting. We're basically doing like what I've been watching these people do on the show. I find it very fascinating. I love watching stuff like that. But I mean, I'm also an outdoorsy person. I love to hunt. I like to fish. I like to, grow my own food, procure my own food. I do live in a city, but I grew up on a farm, so I'm used to, you know, whatever it takes to live. It's not out of my means by any mean, but if anyone's ever, if you haven't seen it and have it all piqued your interest, it is definitely worth the watch. It is a very addicting show. So if it's one of those things where you're like, if you can get hooked to a TV show and like usually watch TV in bed before you go to sleep, can be difficult to shut it off. I know my wife and I, there's a lot of times I'm like, all right, we gotta turn it off because like I gotta get some sleep. It's hard to not just continue to binge it. Okay, let's see if we can't get this bad boy completed here. Oh, interesting how that's working out. You think you would have two identical, but I guess for a ring, you really wouldn't. Um, on the same note, another interesting show, kind of on topic, but also off topic a little bit. If you're into the survival type shows and things, there's a similar show called Snowflake Mountain, and um, when we say snowflake, it's not like it's snowing. They're talking about the derogatory term snowflake. Um, let's call it like these super rich, bougie kids are absolutely spoiled, rotten, and their parents or guardians or loved ones sign them up for this um, like a survival camp, basically as a way to toughen them up and show them how the world works. Like, everything's not just provided to you. So like, you know, like, I guess here, like, kind of like opening scene, these, I think it's 10 or 12 spoiled ass rich kids. And when I say kids, I'm talking like young adults. 21 to 25, maybe 28 might have been the oldest. All live with their parents. Given everything's been given to them. They have just supreme attitudes. They think they're entitled to the world type people. So this kind of sets up like what I'm talking about here. That would be what we would call a snowflake. Don't want to get their hands dirty. Don't want to work for anything. Just absolutely really worthless members of society. Okay, so their loved ones sign them up for this camp. These contestants or whatever have no idea what they're getting into. They think they're going on a vacation. Um, so they've got their Louis Vuitton bags like all packed up, and um, yeah, like Louis Vuitton bags, their like makeup, their phones, their like hair straighteners, all this stuff, right? Well, they get there and their liaisons, I guess is what we'll call them, just to be funny here, are ex-military like survival experts in a way. Like one of them is a munitions expert and another one is an explosives, um, basically like a demolition man. And so, they're like, hey, hey, welcome to camp. I think they call it Camp Snowflake, I think. Um, and they basically, introduce them saying like, hey, like what we're going to have here is a camp for, um, yeah, I really wish I could think of like how to explain this well. Not doing a very good job here. Anyway, this like welcome to this camp or whatever. So camp is actually like 2 miles west of here. These two munitions guys are sitting on like a side by side gator. They're like, it's 2 miles that way. We'll take your stuff. You guys figure out how to get there, and then they drive off towards camp. So these kids, contestants, snowflakes, whatever, they have to, as a group, figure out how to get to the actual base. They get there, their luggage and all that is sitting on like basically like a trailer. Like when they get there, they make them all like stack up their suitcases and bags and belongings up on this trailer, and they're like, all right, we'll pull this to the camp. We'll see you guys, whenever you get there. And so they get there. They're like, all right, welcome to camp. And it's basically like, it's camping. These guys are not mentally equipped to go camping. So they get there, they're bitching, they're complaining, they're like, I'm getting the hell out of here type deal. And then they kind of break the news that like, if you guys stick this camp out or whatever, your loved one sent you here for this. I think there's some type of prize at the end for basically making it to the end. And they're like, so take your stuff. Like these guys packed like 2, 3, 4 giant luggage bags, and they're basically like, consolidate your must-have items into one bag. That's the bag you get to have. The others are just gonna not be available. And so these guys are all, again, they're complaining, but they do what they say. And then like they're like, oh, okay, we'll get these things later. And then they basically at that point are like, you know what, you're not gonna need them. And they drop a plunger on a TNT detonator and blow this whole trailer up. It's not really their stuff. It's decoy. So like their parents and loved ones must have said like they're coming with here's a Coach bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, this bag, that bag, or whatever. So there's duplicates of everything made. So these contestants think that all their shit just gets absolutely nuked, which again is going to help set the tone for the rest of the camp because they're not in a good place. They're mentally challenged. They're not happy, pissing, moaning, all this bullshit. Anyway, I don't want to give away any more than that, but if you want like an absolutely just good laugh, but also like it'll trigger you too. Like I know I was absolutely pissed at just how these people were acting, but it does make for a good show. And then at the end, like these contestants, they can absolutely tap out if they're just like mentally not going to be able to do it. But a lot of them try and stick it out, and at the end, it's kind of cool to see like how these snowflakes become functioning members of society and basically turn it around. But definitely a good show to watch if you're looking for something different to watch. I know my wife and I actually really enjoyed it. Let's see. All right, so now we're on the inner part of the ring. I know I maybe had to stretch that to relate it to Minecraft, but I think it was valid. Oh, I know what I was saying. Okay, so that show alone, like there's one lady on the show. She, again, you're out there by yourself. You don't need a lot of space. You basically just need a spot big enough to sleep, and then big enough for like a little fireplace or something, like a little campfire to stay inside of your little place to like keep you warm through like the dead of winter, you know, to warm up, like dry your gear off when you come in from hunting or gathering or fishing or trapping, doing whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. This woman, she made a damn like hut big enough for at least a couple in there. Like she could have, it was big enough. She could have had. I'll tell you what. I've seen tents like 2-man, 3-man, 4-man tents that were smaller than what she built. Like she went above and beyond. I honestly wasted a lot of time because I honestly wondered if she was even going to be able to finish. Like if she was just going to be too malnourished by the time she got it done. But it just goes to show, like, I mean, these are like, again, survival experts. A lot of these contestants have like military backgrounds, so like they're used to being alone. They're used to being in combat situations where they're secluded and missing loved ones for however long. You have no phone, you have no way of contacting anybody. You have an emergency radio in case something happens, like where you get you're super sick, like you get giardia or something like that, or some virus, like some bad bug, and you're just like, man, I can't continue on, like I need medical attention. That's the only radio you have, and even then that's not enough to, like, you can't just like use it, get checked out, and then continue on. That you use that radio, you're basically throwing the towel in. But then like every, let's say, 45 days or 60 days, something like that, like the medical team comes out and they do basically like a med check to make sure you're not too skinny, like if you lost too much fat, or is your vitals good, is your heart rate good, is all this stuff. Like it's a very intense challenge. Super interesting. I'm very outdoorsy. I'd like to think there's a lot that I couldn't. There's a lot that it would take a lot for me to have to tap out, but I'm not even sure that's something I could even do. Like that, it's absolutely crazy challenge. Now for 500K, would I attempt it? Maybe if I had the opportunity. I don't even know. I'd have to like seriously weigh it out. I mean, you got like bears and shit out there. I mean, I ain't in no condition, no fight, no damn bear. Well, I mean, especially like a polar bear. Other bears, I could just be like the mental factor of it. I'd still absolutely shit my pants though if I saw one in real life out in the wilderness. Them drawers be dirty, you know what I mean? But like I spent my whole childhood like hunting, fishing. Again, grew up on a farm too, and it's been a minute. And there was many years that I got out of hunting. I just didn't have anywhere to go. Kind of got out of fishing. Once I got to like high school age, like I was working full time. I just didn't have the ability to get back out in the woods and do all that stuff. So the show has kind of helped kind of bring it all back a little bit. Like I've been hunting for a few years. I started back several years ago, but I never really got back into fishing. And then I decided yesterday I didn't have much going on, so I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go fishing. I did, man. I had a freaking blast. Felt good to get back out there. there. Don't know if anyone does any fishing on here. It happens to be tuned in, but whoop. I went out purposely looking for catfish. That's like one of my favorite fish to catch. Because they're, man, when they hit your line, it is a fight. Lots of meat on them too. A lot of people don't like catfish. They're kind of muddy, but if you cook it right, you can actually get that muddy flavor out of it. Which I also like. I like the challenge of that too. I love to cook. I love cooking wild game too. That's like honestly a passion. Like especially like my wife is from the from a city, right? She didn't grow up in a small town, so she did not grow up eating wild game and fish and things like that. So, you know, being married to someone that wasn't used to that, and you know, trying to show them that food can be good. You know, that took some time to basically convince her that you know, it's better for you. It's you know, people pay a lot of money for organic food, and it doesn't get any more organic than just wild you know, wild animals. There's no antibiotics that are pumped into those things. Oh shit, I'm doing that on the outside. I don't mean to do that. I gotta fix that. Yeah, it doesn't get any more organic than something that was walking around, you know, that morning. There's no antibiotics that are used to make them bigger. They're living off the natural land. And then now, like, you know, I have kids, and trying to find ways to make food that, you know, they're gonna eat and not throw a fit. So now, if I'm like, you know, we're having cheeseburgers tonight. First question they ask is it deer, or is it, you know, is it, well, they call it Papa's beef, but you know, my family, we're farmers, so we grow our own cattle and butcher our own beef. But if I say we're having deer burgers, like, I don't get a single complaint. They're like, yes, which is good too. Your kids can be finicky, and I'm saying like, we're having deer tonight, and they're like, yes. If I say we're having beef, they're like, is it Papa's beef, or is it beef from the store? You know, and then I'll get a little bit more hesitation if I say it's like store-bought beef. They're like, I don't like that as good. No, flavor's not as good. Shit. Alright. I'm definitely sure we're not going to have enough to... We'll have enough to finish this ring. Or, not this ring, sorry. This quadrant. This quarter of this circle. So this will get us half done. And then, so after we're done here, we'll go over to the concrete farm and make as much concrete as we can. We'll probably come back over and work on another quadrant or so, but I didn't mean to do that. I looked away for a second. Even that area where I have my concrete farm, it looks a little different than you guys saw it last. I pretty much leveled that beach that was sitting on. Oh hell, I'm already out. Okay, well I guess we'll go ahead and sleep. All that concrete I had on me is used. Okay, so that box empty. I'm gonna check, make sure audio's not clicking or popping. It is, okay. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, did I get it fixed? Sounds like I did. Get some more netherrack. Alright, let's keep going. And so I've been also toying with the idea of here, let me turn that down a little bit. Toying with the idea of whether or not I want to stick with a controller, or do I want to switch over to mouse and keyboard. I know I would definitely have more control with the mouse, as far as like maneuvering and flying around, agility, all that stuff. Especially having to land on these intricate areas. I mean, this is a challenge. So it'll seem like it goes quick now as soon as we get this one done. So we got 5 rows of the exact same thing. Whoop. Man, nice little rhythm going there. I couldn't keep it. Alright, this will go a little quicker now. Marked right off of that. Oh, come on. Getting close. I think what we'll do once we get this ring finished up, we'll see how we're looking on concrete. What we might do is I might go ahead and end stream there, and then I'll probably just stay on for a couple more hours and grind out a bunch of concrete for tomorrow. If I can get enough made, we can see about potentially finishing up the entirety of this ring tomorrow, which would be um, which would be a big feat on its own. Like at this point now, we're approaching the 10,000 block mark just on this ring, which means in total we've placed we'll have placed about 15,000 blocks so far. Okay, let's go like working from the other side more. If I have to choose. But we'll see. We'll judge how much concrete we got left before we make that decision. But well, at least give a heads up what we may end up doing. I'd also like to need to start thinking about what I want to do on the floor on this ring. I want every ring to have its own flooring system. I know I've talked about this before. What did we do on the first layer? We used mangrove slabs. Crimson wood could be cool if I want to stick with the red theme. Could be a bear to cure all of that. It's because warped trees are not warped. Crimson trees are not the funnest thing to collect from. And then on the third one, I wouldn't do it on here. I would do the crimson probably on that one because it's smaller. And then do nether brick slabs. I think you can do nether brick slabs on this ring. So we've obviously got plenty of netherrack. But then basically, like if I say like, oh, that's located on the crimson ring, you know, basically using the flooring as our identifying mark instead of saying the go to the big ring or go to the top ring or go to the bottom ring, which honestly would work fine. But oh shit. What was I doing here? Put that there. Could have been bad. Here. Alright, last piece. Do the same thing we did on the other side. We'll just work our way down. Come on. lot easier to go from this side. Whoop. All right, so that is half. And it's gonna be a little low. All right, let's come over here. Look at that. Look at that. That is half of that ring done. 10,000 blocks just right there. Isn't that crazy? Just on the top side. Bottom side, another 5,000. So there's 15,000 white concrete blocks just right here. Not including the construction rings up there. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's check and see what our reserves are. We might actually still have a hole. Okay, so we did tap into that box. Okay. This next little bit though, it's pretty boring for you guys for me to like knock that construction part out as far as like the guidelines. So maybe okay, what we might do, we might go ahead and call it a short stream. I will get the construction part here done. I'll get the other ring in there, and then the bottom row and the top row in so we can start. And then after that, I will get a bunch of, I'll get these 3 boxes each converted over to concrete powder. So that's ready to go, and I'll try and get it all converted to concrete. That way tomorrow when we log in and start stream, it's all ready to go, and we should be able to finish up that entire actually let me think here. If we've got 27 times 64, that is 1728. Okay, so that's how many blocks one shulker box holds. If we take that times 6 boxes, that's 10,000 blocks. That would be enough. That would be enough. So all the reserves I have, looks like I need a little bit more gravel. And then if I've got 3 whole boxes of sand, which I've almost got, if I get all that converted, a little bit more resources, I would have enough blocks to finish that up tomorrow. That's exciting to think about. Or potentially one day away from having that completed, which isn't bad considering I only play like a couple hours a week. So let me go post up over here where we were. We'll close her out, and then I will get to work getting us ready for tomorrow. So let's go over here to settings. Maybe. Let's kick us off to hide the HUD. Get that to render in. Get our screenshot. Try and get back up there. And let's do something like that. Come on, show me the little pop-up. I'm seeing you got it. Acting like my screenshot button's not up there it goes. Okay. All right. So what we'll do, turn my HUD back on. Whoop. Jump down, glide down to the platform, and then I believe Snatched is streaming right now, so we'll raid him, see what he's up to. I'm pretty sure he's playing Diablo. But we will see here. So let's get that all lined up here. Bear with me for a second. I have never raided. Here we go. Start raid. Yep, he is raiding. All right, guys. So thanks for hanging out. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Be sure to jump into Snatch's stream. Say hello. We'll see you next time. See you.